think we're continuing to grow as a program. We appreciate the opportunity that the administration has committed to us to continue to advance our program. We got a lot of things going on, from facilities to stabilizing of our staff to recruiting and whatnot. So we are encouraged where we're at. We're not pleased where we're at. We've been very competitive, but a little bit inconsistent the last few years, and let a few games slip away that we've been in. But we played some very good football in what I think's a tremendous brand in college football, a great bracket in the Big Ten East, just a great bracket in Big Ten because the West is awfully strong as well. So excited about where we position ourselves in our league. Everybody talks about how challenging it is, but we embrace that challenge, embrace that opportunity. That's how we've been able to attract, I think, not only good coaches, but some more talented players. I think it's why we're playing good football. So I think, like all of us will say, I've been very encouraged. We have a lot of guys back. We're a young team. We will miss a couple good players. Several guys were drafted, and our quarterback, Nate Sudfeld and Jason Spriggs, Jordan Howard, a quality running back right here playing for the Bears. So we had several guys drafted, moved on, but we got a good core of guys back. We have 4 fifth-year seniors in our offensive line. That's a very, very good group, led by one of the best players in the conference, led by one of the best coaches in the conference, and Greg Fry. But Dan Feeney's an awesome, awesome football player, and with Demetri Camille, who's up here with us, he's, I think, one of the best right tackles in our league, and Jacob Bailey, Wes Rogers were pretty solid in the offensive front, a lot of experience. We've got several receivers back. A year ago, we stood up here, and we had this quarterback, and our leading returning receiver had 18 catches. And he blew out a knee that I think we announced at this thing last year. So our leading returning receiver had 8 catches, and he didn't even play last year. But we found a guy that could catch 60, another guy with 57, another guy with 50, or 54, I think it is. I think we had 3 of the top 14 receivers in the Big Ten are coming back, so we've got some good players there. In Simi Cobbs, Ricky Jones, Mitchell Page, Jay-Sean Harris that was injured last year is back healthy. Nick Westbrook, a talented freshman from a year ago, is in the mix. So we will be 5, 6, 7 deep. We recruited several good players. So our front's awfully experienced and pretty good. Our perimeter, I think, is awfully experienced and pretty good. We're fortunate to have Divine Redding back at running back. Jordan Howard is a quality back. I think it was 3 years ago we stood up here and we had not had a 1,000-yard running back in Indiana in 20 years. In the standard he's setting, we've not really, it's not scheme and X's and O's, and we can talk about that. We're blue in the face. Our X's and O's aren't as good on offense as our standard and the culture we've been able to create. We've not been able to do that defensively, and I'm very excited to see what Tom can do and encourage there. So a lot of players back defensively. Ralph Green up front, Nate Hoff up front, Jacob Robinson I think will be solid players. Greg Gooch, Niles Sykes coming off the edge. I think our 2 linebackers, Marcus Oliver, T. Gray Scales, T.J. Simmons. I think we'll have some depth and good players there. And our back end does need to step up. Jonathan Crawford, I think, is an awesome safety, one of the best freshmen in the conference last year. And we got a good kicking game back. I think we got one of the best kickers in the Big Ten, Griffin Oaks. I think it was 24 or 29 last year. He's just going to be a junior. I think he's an outstanding kicker. I think our punt snapper, Danny Gotts, is one of the best in the game. We've got to find a punter. We've got a leg, but it's unproven. We'll see how that goes. And our return unit, Mitchell Page, was pretty dynamic back there. This is by far the deepest our team's been. So we got some depth, we got some experience, we've got some excitement, and I think we've got a chance to be a solid football team. We start with 3 non-conference games, and I will say this. Florida International last year, we have a pick 6 in the last 2 minutes to secure that game in Florida International. That's our opening game. Second game, we play Ball State, and they've beat us the last 3 times we played them. I'll say our recruiting right now, we've always been, I felt, to get the players we needed to compete in our bracket and our schedule, that I wasn't really fired up about a lot of the early commitments. We've went a lot slower than a lot of other guys. We've taken our time. We've tried to earn respect and trust and loyalty. So I think the one thing that's helped our recruiting the most has been the contract extension. Because a year ago, I don't know if we were getting that. And I think a lot of kids like, hey, what's going to be the offense? Who's going to be your coach? I think right now, with the 6-year extension, I think you got a lot of guys buying the fact that we got a chance to be successful. Our administration's committed to us. And we've always tried to recruit our state hard. And I listened last year to several coaches, and we talked about how these camps are about making the game better. We want to do these camps to make the game better. And we want to give coaches a chance. You know, we almost didn't do them because guys were going all over the country. So I thought, like, a great deal. We're doing 5 camps in our state for free. We're not giving them T-shirts. We're not giving them meals. We're not giving them anything. But I want to reach back to my state, my coaches, my guys, my state. So we had one in Fort Wayne the other day. We'll have 4 camps on Wednesday. It's almost like a spring recruiting day. I see Coach Donardo sitting back there. So it's like an old spring recruiting day. Instead of going to the school, we're going to show up at 9 o'clock and have a lineman camp at one school. 11:15 we'll be at another school with the skill camp. take a break, and at 5 o'clock, come back with another lineman camp on the other side of town, and then a skill camp at 7 o'clock that night. I thought it'd be a great way. All these guys are talking about helping the game, but they're flying around in private jets. Their LLC is not paying for the traveling expenses coming out of recruiting or discretionary budget. So I said, hey, if we want to make the game better, and that's the gist of why, as coaches, we want these satellite caps, I want to make a commitment to my state. We'll see if it goes. I hope we have a phenomenal turnout. We got a bunch of coaches from a lot of small schools around our state, and some of the MAC schools coming in to help us. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I think it's going to be a heck of an adventure. We'll see how it goes.